A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here at Quaker Steak and Lube as we get ready for what is I think we could safely call it the last remaining big game, big opportunity for whatever that opportunity may be worth in your mind for the Penn State football team on Saturday. Undefeated second-ranked Indiana coming in for the 12 noon kickoff at Beaver Stadium. And an Indiana team, Goon, that right now just feels like it has everything rolling.
Yeah, buddy, they're rolling. Watched them play a couple weeks ago, and there's no compassion either. They're taking a lot of liberties on teams that historically have beaten them up pretty good, and they're just tattooing them right now. People are like, "Oh my God, their offense," but their defense ain't giving up many points, man.
No, their defense.
Yeah.
Again, the offense.
They can score.
So prolific, and Mendoza is such an amazing phenom that I do think folks are sleeping a little bit on just how good this Indiana defense is and has been this season. And it's interesting. I was just listening a little bit. They had the Indiana beat writer from the Indianapolis Star on the show that precedes ours on 98.7 The Fox here in the Center County area. And he was saying that one of the things that's different this year than last year, Indiana would get to the fourth quarter and they're like, listen, we've got to try to impress the voters. We got to put up points, and they were scoring.
They were still Indiana last year.
A lot of points in the fourth quarter to try to run up that margin of victory. He said this year they are not passing the ball in the fourth quarter, and they are second-team offensive line in, a lot of second-team and third-team guys across the board, and they're just running, but the running is so effective that they're still adding the points, but they are calling off the horses this year in the fourth quarter. They're not trying to pad the scores. It's just that they have, again, enough depth and talent on the depth chart that the numbers are still getting rung up, but it's a difference in terms of how those scores are coming about this season for Indiana. And it's going to be interesting, Goon, moving down the road, and we'll obviously delve into this matchup here on Saturday a little bit, but moving down the road, I think it is going to be one of the more interesting storylines to me in the Big Ten and nationally is where does Indiana football go after this year? Listen, I am convinced, and we'll see how it plays out. I think they are a national title contender, like legit one of a handful of teams that it feels to me as we sit here right now. I will not be shocked if Indiana wins the national title now this season. And even as I'm saying that out loud, I'm like, dude, come on.
No, right?
Indiana football. But yes, this team, yes. But can they sustain it? I mean, there were a lot of people, all right, last year was interesting. That was fun. And now we get back to reality. Well, reality's looking pretty good for Indiana once again. The question is, are they now one of the top dogs, just perennial contenders in the Big Ten? And nobody definitively knows that answer. Kurt Signetti is going to tell you definitively yes. There's going to be others say, well, no, as time goes on. We don't know, but I think my guess is, yes, they are going to be among the playoff contenders for the foreseeable future here, the next 3 or 4 years anyway. Because I think what Kurt Signetti has done is completely transformed what they believe is possible in and around that program. And with that now, they have additional big money folks that are like, well, yeah, if this is what you're going to put out there, I'm interested in helping to support that. And when you look at whatever the arrangement is, and this is what they were talking about on Joe Lednowski's show this afternoon, whatever comes from the future playoff arrangement here, it is going to benefit the Big Ten and the SEC. There's no question about that. And so Indiana is going to be part of that equation. And so when you look at what they have established here last season and this year, Curt Cignetti's track record, no matter where he's at, the financial support they have within that community, and then the Big Ten financial support that's there. Again, I don't know that they're going to be a national title contender year in and year out, but I think they're going to be a playoff contender more often than not here. Again, in this world of college football, the foreseeable future is like the next 3 or 4 years, and then who knows what all could transpire. But I don't think Indiana's going anywhere is my point. I think they are going to be in the mix and among the teams contending for a playoff spot here from the Big Ten for, again, at least the next 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah. What do you compare the Indiana rise to? Do you have anything? I have one Northwestern 94 and 95 or 95 and 96 that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but this one feels like it is built for sustained.
Yeah, this is a national thing.
Correct. Well, yeah,
they had a really good team, whereas Cignetti has bought the whole program around, including their fans. And I have friends from Indiana, by the way, who have said to me already that Indiana fans were already arrogant. Really, it took a year.
I mean, it took a year. Fan base. I think welcome to any fan.
Well,
base.
I mean, I think they're going to flood into State College of the years of beatings we've been giving them. They're finally going to hand one out. They want to be here for it. I mean, football-wise, do you remember anything like this big of a turnaround? Like a sustained, I mean, Boise State came out of nowhere, but Boise State was Boise State. I mean, Indiana is they're in a big boy conference, you know?
Yeah.
But they've never contended, ever.
Well, and the thing is, the way they handled Oregon, the way they have like last year was a magical season for Indiana football. I mean, that last season will be remembered as historically great, historically special, all of that. To then turn around and have an even better season this year. And I get it. There's still we got to see how everything plays out. I really think there is, I'm going to say it's better than even chance that they get through the regular season now undefeated, which is saying that sentence, Indiana football and undefeated in the same sentence. Just it is hard to compute that. And I'm obviously very impressed with Ohio State and what they have. I think Indiana will at least be very competitive. And I certainly don't rule out the possibility of Indiana winning that game. I now am hoping that is what we see in the Big Ten championship game, just because I think it would be an absolutely fascinating watch. And I think those are the two best teams and maybe the two best programs right now in the Big Ten. And it is just wild. And I think while Mendoza and the offense, again, get a lot of the accolades, and rightfully so, understandably and rightfully so, I do think, as you talk about all the time, it really does start up front on both sides of the ball. And I think Indiana matches up as well as anybody. I'm not sure anybody truly matches up with Ohio State in the Big Ten, at least this year. If there is a team, it is Indiana. I am really interested to see if that is our Big Ten championship game at the end of the year, and if both of these teams do run the table. And actually, that's an interesting point, too, is I think it's actually more likely. I think they both will run the table. But if you're asking me right now, which one is most likely
to lose a game?
Yeah, it would be Ohio State simply because of the Michigan bugaboo here
man.
that rivalry has now caused for Ohio State these last several seasons.
Again, we're talking about Indiana in early November as an undefeated team, number 2 in the country, and good for them.
And
They're truly good for them. In the Big Ten, good for them. Undefeated in the Big Ten, undefeated nationally, and getting the respect that they were trying so hard to get last year. It's like one of those things. Oh, they're a fluke last year. They were not a fluke if they're doing what they're doing right now. And that is they have built something that's going to sustain for a few years there now and change the whole culture, man.
I
mean, this is probably one of the good sides of the NIL is it has created the parity, I guess you could say. I mean, I wouldn't give it the scholarship limits. You know what I mean? Well, they're only allowed to have 105 guys on scholarship now. So, I mean, has the talent been watered down that Indiana now has more talent going there? I'd say no. I'd say that there's a lot of money in Indiana, and they're throwing it around pretty good, and they're getting some pretty damn good football players.
Yeah.
I mean, facility-wise, they've really, really upped and improved, and they had been doing that for a while. But,
yeah,
good for them, somebody see in the future, and, going out and getting Kurt Signetti, and it was a huge get for them because, man, he's really changed that program big time.
It really is stunning to see how quickly and to what degree he has established that turnaround. And, we've talked about like Vanderbilt has had some success here the last, under Franklin, and now again, Georgia Tech has a magical season going here. We'll see how everything finishes up there. Like, you have teams that have relative success. And listen, if Kurt Signetti had come in and Indiana went 8-4 last year and 9-3 this year and got in as a 12 seed in one playoff, people would, that would be like, this is the most unbelievable. That's as good as you can do. This is, again, they are on the precipice. We'll see how it finishes out. I get it. It's not. If they actually win a national title, even if they go to a Final Four, that is going to be, to me, to answer your earlier question, I don't think we've seen anything that I can think of that is comparable in terms of a complete turnaround in a 2-year period as what Indiana,
and not a flash in the
pan,
a sustained.
Again, that's what I think is going to happen. We got to wait and see how it all plays out, because we've had certainly you've had organizations, programs who are like, oh, look out, here they come, and then things fall off. I don't think Indiana, again, they might fall off a bit from where they are this year, but I mean, I don't think you're going to see this program not be right there in the thick of things in the Big Ten again for at least the next 2 or 3 years. But again, that's what I'm guessing right now. We'll see how it plays out.
Like, what do you think? Who are you thinking in your head? I mean, who was really just?
Not for this.
The Northwestern thing is, I think, is comparable because they're both Big Ten schools, but Big Ten went. I mean, I'm sorry, Northwestern went back to being Northwestern after Pat Fitzgerald got done in 1996. They had their 2-year window there. Well, maybe give a 3-year window, but dude, I mean, these guys are legit. These guys are actually playing for a national title. In any sport, I don't remember like this kind of just completely just whole heart, just flat out complete turnaround. Go from a doormat to a contender on an annual basis in a year. Whew.
Yeah, and it maybe does give Penn State hope here.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say. A lot of people are going to give that. There is hope that I mean, let's not kid ourselves. We have a pretty favorable schedule next year.
Yes, that is true. I would argue they had a very favorable schedule this year in terms of that path, and they had a lot more, we thought, certainty stability, all of those things going into the season. So I agree and understand your point. I also, again, I hate to keep coming back to it, but I hope everything obviously goes great, and I think it could. I think the more likely scenario is 5 years from now, we're looking back saying, actually I had it pretty good under that James Franklin fellow. Remember when we were going to the playoffs and remember that Final Four team? And, yeah, it was a bummer, those 2 losses. But, again, we'll see how it all plays out. It is a ton of different storylines, obviously, in college football that are going to be ongoing here. One of them that is going to be really intriguing to follow, I would say, over the next 3 seasons is, all right, you have Auburn, you have Penn State, you have LSU, you have Florida, all to whatever degree you think it's reasonable. All of those fan bases and all of those administrations, I am telling you, are thinking that, hey, we should be in the national title conversation. Our program should be competing on a regular basis for conference championships and for Big Ten titles. Not a chance in heck that those 4 programs over the next 3 years will all be in the Final Four. I'm not even sure all 4 would be in the playoffs in one of the next 3. I'm talking about after this year, once they get the new coach in. So in 26, 27, or 28. And we may have, again, some more coaching changes yet to come. We got to see how some things finish up this season. I think there's a lot on the line still with, certainly with USC. I think USC is still one of the more interesting follows here with Lincoln Riley. It feels like they've stabilized some things, but again, the expectation there is at least they got to be in the playoffs. They got a lot of work to do to get to the playoffs.
Do you think he survives another year?
That's a really good question, and
wow.
I don't know.
I think he does if they finish the season competitively.
Yes, if they are, but what does competitive mean? Again, how the big money boosters there define that may be a little different than how some of us on the outside looking in may define that. And I don't know. There's a lot of things that still remain very unsettled just on the coaching front alone, let alone everything else surrounding college football right now. But
I want to talk about that too. We will get to it because we talked about it on Tuesday, and really nobody. I'm worried about Penn State. Sunday, our season is over as of Saturday night versus Rutgers, November 29th. Signing day is Wednesday. But it's not, and I'm like, wow, what are we going to do for those 5 days? What are we going to do? We're going to hemorrhage recruits, but I'm sitting there Florida doesn't have a coach. UCLA doesn't have a coach. Colorado State doesn't have a coach. LSU, Arkansas, nobody does.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's not really that big of a concern. I was talking off the air with some friends of mine, and I was like,
I don't know.
You know what? The transfer portal you could transfer a day later after your letter of intent day, right? That's the weirdest thing. And you don't have to sign a letter of intent that day. I don't know. Are most of these teams, if we have signaled out or are zeroed in on our coach and he is still coaching in a playoff game, he's not leaving that team, right?
I would think that is right. I just don't know how these things work. Does the agent go to the coach and say, all right, we have this worked out, and if that gets out, right, and you are with a playoff team, and that can be disastrous across the board. That can be disastrous.
Agreed.
So, but if you're not reaching out and if you're not getting a pretty good idea anyway, if not a finalized situation, how far behind are you putting your program and your coach? And if you're a coach and even through your agent, again, if I don't want to make I'm coach of Podunk U, and Podunk U, we have a great undefeated team. I don't want to
some
bring
players
it
there,
to real names, but and you reach out and it's like, yep, that sounds good. I do want to go there. Is that not a moral dilemma for you as a coach? Because you can't possibly be 100% dialed in, can you? I mean, I'm just thinking of. I'm trying to. Maybe
all we can do is go off of rumors.
And
it was said at the Heartline of the interviewed here on the week off, and I think that Brent Key from Georgia Tech has an off week this week, so maybe he's interviewed. This is what you've been hearing.
But if you reach an agreement,
okay,
and
so
like,
you reached an agreement with Brian Hartline.
Do you?
I don't want to say the name, because
can you actually go 100% in on the rest of your season with your team? I don't think it's possible. I because there has to be a part of you that is at least spending some time now thinking about how you want to get this thing running at Penn State. I don't know what percentage of time, but if it's 5 minutes, well, that's 5 minutes away from what you're supposed to be doing right now. Right? Like, I don't know enough about how it works. I don't know, just from an ethical standpoint, you as a coach, how you handle that. I'm not even sure what the right thing to do
this
is.
A little bit from 1989. Rumeal Robinson's Michigan basketball team. Bo Schemblecker was the AD, and not Jimbo Fisher, but Fisher, the coach who ended up coaching the Fab Five, he was an assistant on that team. Steve Fisher. But then the head coach of Michigan basketball that year, was leaving. He is at the end of the tournament, and Bo Schemblecker said, "A Michigan man will coach a Michigan team," and they fired him right then and there. And Steve Fisher was the coach, and they ended up winning a national title that year. So it's like, I mean, is there not a dilemma in your head? Like, okay, like, I'm Brian Hartline. I'm just going to say his name, Brian Hartline, because it's a name. I'm not saying that Brian Hartline is the guy, but does Brian Hartline, does he coach 1,000,000%, or as he's recruiting for Penn State, get ready to play in a playoff game for Ohio State? Does he just say Ohio State? They're going to say, "You not Brian, move on." I don't know.
Yeah, and
what
even
a
more
freaking world.
Even more so if it is a head coach.
Head coach to head coach. You're right.
I mean, I do think it's still a dilemma and it's problematic. And I don't know if an assistant can go to the head coach and say, I don't know how this is handled. And I'm not 100% sure how it should be handled. Because if you're wanting to stay with, let's say Heartline, and I want to I'm committed to this team.
Sure.
But,
I'd want to be part of it. I want to finish with my team.
Of course.
But I also want to get a head start on my team next year.
But do you go to Ryan Day and say, "Hey, just so you know, I'm all in," knowing that there's a chance here? Ryan Day's going to say, "No, you're not all in."
Yeah.
If that's where you're heading, that's where you're
heading.
The
only thing I can think of is Billy O'Brien with the New England Patriots. And when he says, "Listen, I'm still going to coach the Patriots to the Super Bowl. I have to do that."
Yeah.
And he was doing double the work. He was doing the Penn State recruiting while down at the Super Bowl, doing recruiting calls and stuff like that, and the off week type of thing. He was doing the Penn State stuff. So I guess I get it from the NFL to the college, but I don't know. I don't. What's the precedence? And again, the transfer portal is open mid January again. So now you have to worry about that, and then you also have to worry about the it's not early signing period now. It's actually the signing period.
And that's the thing is how far behind the 8 ball can you put your program for that first year?
And there's no way that the athletic director is not going to reach out to a player and say, "Hey, he's coming. Just don't tell anybody." And it's not going to. There's no way in hell that's going to stay
right at
tight-lipped.
some point.
Yeah,
because of the recruits. Yeah, somebody somewhere that it starts to leak out, and that's what I mean. I don't know how.
Do we know anything,
how
Jeff?
this is handled? I don't know.
Do we know anything?
I never did.
Jeez.
In my defense. All right, let's take a break here. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. We'll talk about this Indiana game. We talked last week. I just did not have a good feeling at all. I have a very similar feeling, unfortunately, once again this week for the Nittany Lions. And it's, again, just the matchups, the way the teams are playing, kind of the overall feel around the programs, all of those different things that come into play here. So, we'll talk about, if Penn State is to pull the big upset, how in the world would that happen? What would that look like? And we'll kick that around when we return. Again, it is our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
Back. That's my friend Joey McNichol behind you. They were Moon's neighbors at the campground 20, 30 years ago. Oh, sorry. Hello.
It's an old 606 tradition.
What's up, people? How you doing? We're still on the air.
Oh, are you?
That's the Monday Night Ads. As the head of Iron figures this out.
There we go.
I'm the Goon here.
This region is known for its winding forest roads and scenic wild beauty. And there's one vehicle that's as rugged as Happy Valley. It's the Kia Telluride from Lion Country Kia. Hurry in now and check out the all-around rugged 2025 Tellurides. Lion Country Kia has the spacious 7-seater SUV with as low as 2.99% financing for 60 months or a $1,500 Kia finance rebate. There's 19 Tellurides in stock ready to go, starting at only $43,145. Be sure to check out the entire Kia lineup at Lion Country Kia. There's 91 new Kias available. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Who trusts Lion Country Kia? Mitchell Messenbrink trusts Lion Country Kia. And you should too. Lion Country Kia. 1334 Dravova Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here on this Thursday afternoon ahead of the first home game for Penn State since the firing of James Franklin. It seems like forever ago now. Saturday noon kickoff between the Nittany Lions and the Hoosiers. And, yeah, the coaching search is understandably getting a lot of attention, not a lot of answers, a lot of rumors, not a lot of verified, like you feel confident, all right, that actually took place, or even the short list. I've seen the number of people that have different names that are, again, I think are pretty reliable sports information sources. It's amazing the number of names that are out there. And I just don't think anybody really has, outside of maybe Pat Kraft, and I really do wonder if he even has a really good sense right now of, all right, yeah, this is going to be our next guy. Maybe he does. Maybe there's a done deal, and everybody.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that
secret. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about. Do you think that Pat had the idea of who he wanted, and that one said, okay, we can get rid of James now? Do you think he had that idea of who he wanted, and he still has an idea, or that idea fell through?
So
it's all speculation. We are 100% speculation.
It's a good question. I cannot imagine. But again, I don't know. I've obviously never been in the position. First of all, I think every athletic director at every big time, forget big time, every athletic director at every program has to have a list, just like James Franklin said he did with the assistants. Like, you have to have a list of, hey, these are guys that if we get into the circumstance, and I don't think Pat Kraft went into this season, and maybe I'm wrong here too, but I don't think he went into this season thinking, there's a pretty good chance midway point I'm going to have to make a move, so I want to make sure I have this list ready. But I just think generally, like, you've got to have, and I don't know if it involves just reaching out periodically, or if it's just you don't reach out, you just, these are the people I know. I'm curious about that too. Like, do you, hey, good to see you. Hey, if anything ever happens with our guy here, you'd be somebody I'd be interested in. Would you be interested? I don't know if those conversations take place with any regularity or not, but I think that's interesting. I mean, in most jobs, right, like that stuff does happen, where it's, we're set now, but, let's just stay in touch because, I think you fit in well with our organization or whatever. So I don't know if those conversations take place. Pat Kraft had to have at least a couple of names. Yeah. He's like, I know if this ever opens up, that's somebody I'd want to reach out to. Now, I have no idea whether those people are already off the list, if there's already been an agreement and that the main guy he wanted is ready to come aboard and they just got to wait it out. That to me is fascinating. I don't know if we'll ever know all of that info or not, but I'm really curious. And I'm curious Same thing with, well, LSU is a whole separate animal. That one, I don't think the governor was keeping a list of the coaches that he would want, although who knows the way that thing's developing. But Florida, I mean, I think most, probably every AD, right? You have at least a few names if anything goes haywire here.
Guys
or
you've always been impressed with.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
I want to make sure I reach out.
But my feeling is, and I just think that James had to go at that point and the way the kids were responding to him playing. What do you think? Because again, it goes back to why do you get rid of him? Why don't you just let him finish the season out?
I don't think it was a bad move because of just how, to me, like truly unbelievably toxic the fan base. And I am presuming, and we're hearing rumors, and again, I take it with a grain of salt, but I do think some big money folks with the university also
soured
Pat Kraft's ears saying
they soured on
James.
Make a move.
Yeah.
And I'm as far from a money person as you get, Ironhead, but I had that feeling too, and that was if that was the effort we were going to get against UCLA and Northwestern, then stuff's got to change then because they were done. They were fried. They couldn't get any worse than that. We still had 8 more games left. I mean, geez.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it can't get any worse than that. We'll see what happens here down the stretch.
Oh man!
But so just because of that, I don't know. I get that we're in a different world, and I guess I'm still trying to adjust to it. I am uncomfortable. And I know Pat Kraft said this wasn't based on 2 games. It was. I mean, you're telling me if they had won those 2 games, even if they were close games, that move would have been made? Not a chance. Like 0 chance. So I understand what he's saying, and I'm not saying that they didn't go back and look at everything and decide all right, yeah, it is more than just this, but I'm just telling they're not making that move if they win those 2 games. Even if they're closer than
over UCLA and Northwestern,
correct.
Even after the Oregon loss,
correct.
Yeah, I think we'd be fine. We would. I mean, we were still in it going into the UCLA game, and that was the effort that when it got put out there. So, yeah, I think that everybody was just done with them. My opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, if they and him coming out there and saying, "Well, we never got over the Oregon loss," I mean, that's on. I mean, that to me was an alarming comment. Like that's the first thing you say is, "We didn't get over." You obviously saw that, so you should have done something about that, in my opinion. And that was, we're playing UCLA, so we'll just kill these guys, and then we'll go home and everything will be fine. Didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I wonder if we will get some stories after the season from somebody somewhere, whether it's just leaked info, because that still makes no sense to me. The whole we couldn't get over the Oregon loss. Yes, it was a big game. It was a huge letdown with the whiteout crowd and everything. But you just saw a year ago in your conference a team that overcame 2 losses, including one at about that stage of the season, oddly enough, to that exact team, that exact program, and they go on. So I just something is not adding up there where the team just we can't shake that loss was just so devastating. I get in the moment, yes, I think that Saturday night and Sunday morning it had to feel like very empty, very hollow, and man, I can't believe we let that opportunity. But you're telling me that college athletes with all of the bravado they have that by Sunday night they weren't able to say, wait a second, we could still go win the national championship. Remember, that's why we all came back for this. That's why we signed up for all of the money. Like,
How many losses we had last year?
I don't really buy. I know it's what he said, and I know, maybe he believed it, and maybe it is the case. It just truly makes no sense that you wouldn't be able to get over that loss the following week when you had everything that Penn State had to play for, and you're taking on a team that, again,
had just fired their coach.
You had to know matchup-wise, if you just went out and took care of your business, you were going to get right back on track here for the opportunity to still go out and play for a national title at the end of the season. So I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't have the explanation. It does not make sense to me that as a collective group, they could not get over a loss to Oregon when everybody knew that it wasn't that devastating in the overall scheme of things.
Everything was still there. Everything. They were just making fun of Big Game James. Big game James. That's the only thing that was different.
Before, and they had responded well before. That's what
crazy.
It's still.
So I go back to was it the summertime reports that came out that, that James went around Pat trying to get a contract extension? I don't know. Does it go back to that? Was the relationship soured that much from that point where it was just like, I'm done, I'm out, I don't care about this anymore? I mean, that would be horrible to think about. But again, I mean, it's November 5th, 6th. We're Indiana. And Indiana's Penn State this year.
Yeah.
Like, Indiana for years is like, okay, when's basketball season starting? Like in early November, the Indiana football is going, I want to get the hell out of here. Let's start basketball soon. All right, let's get this over with. And now we are sitting there as a Penn State football program saying, I can't wait for the season to be over. I mean, that's unbelievable to think about. Ridiculous to think about, Jeff.
Yeah, you guys seem apprehensive. Yes, we were right to fire Franklin due to his acceptance of poor performance at the quarterback position and too much family and not business with players. Okay. All right. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. We'll see what happens here moving forward. I think people are underestimating, especially in this world of college football, but even previously, how difficult it is to get to where Penn State went last year, the Final Four. Like, that doesn't just happen with a guy who doesn't know how to coach, and boy, he's got his priorities wrong. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. Now, can something change, and did something change between last season and this? I still have no idea really what it was. I don't know. The whole acceptance of, this is the Mike Tomlin line too with Steelers fans. Yeah, they're just happy with winning seasons. No. Now, you can argue whether or not the way they're going about it is the right way and the right approach or whatever. Mike Tomlin has never once, ever uttered to the press, nor to, I guarantee you, anybody in that locker room, hey, guys, we need to get this one because we got to get that 500 record intact. That is not what they are preaching. And James Franklin is not telling his quarterback that, hey, yeah, we're okay. We don't need to be. You don't need to be special at this position. And from everybody we've talked to, Goon, everybody associated with the program. And again, I don't know why it didn't work. I'm not arguing that it was working, but Drew Aller put in a ton of time. Like, that guy, it wasn't a lack of effort or willingness to put in the time to be great on Drew Aller's part. Like, this isn't a kid that was like, a prima donna, and I know this. I'm, coaches, don't need to listen to you. Like, he was listening to them. And when you say, it just drives me crazy. And maybe this is just a me thing. Well, you accepted. Well, what was the alternative? And again, then it's like, well, now you're busting on Grunkmeyer. No, but have you seen anything through these first two games where you're like, oh no, see, he was definitively better than Aller? No, yeah, you haven't. And so I get that. Well, then you need to go out and recruit better quarterbacks. That's fair. I think that's, that fit your system, whatever. That's okay. But to say that they were accepting of subpar play anywhere, I just think is not accurate. Now, whether or not they had the right remedy, whether they went about it the right way, I guess is.
Yeah. I'm calling into question the team leadership. We're talking about, this is supposed to be a senior-laden team that has been through the ringer a couple times. They knew exactly what they could do with 2 losses, still get in the playoffs. It was all set up for them right then and there. Yeah. So I don't understand why we just didn't come out and play well against UCLA and lost that game. But then you double it down by losing to Northwestern in the same fashion. So, I don't have an answer for anything.
No.
I can bullcrap my way through it. I'm a history major, Ironhead. I mean, I can probably take care of all that. But, yeah, there's a lot of different stuff that goes into this. But, again, where were the senior leadership? What leadership does this team have? I said it to you before, or maybe even in the air, is who were the leaders? Were the guys who make the most money the leaders? Were the team leaders actually football leaders? Were they actual senior leaders? Were they just younger? Or was it just guys who make the most money on the team? Or we were just a leaderless ship? I don't know. Maybe we lost some guys who were the great leaders last year. We didn't have that going into this year. I don't know. But nothing is explained easily.
No.
I mean, this is going to be like a case study on a football season. We're like, whoa, man. Because I don't think it's ever happened before where, number 2 or 3 in the preseason, some projected national champions are not even making a bowl game possible. I mean, I think A&M a couple years ago, I think
I'd say likely right now, right?
You got to call. You got to say we're guaranteed to make a bowl game. And then we're not even guaranteed if we do become eligible. I don't think that some of our guys might be like, you know what, we're done.
I did get into a debate again yesterday with a friend. I genuinely am not seeing why Penn State would accept a bowl bid if offered. I guess maybe, and I'm saying maybe with a big question mark, if they pull the upset here over Indiana and then win out, maybe it makes some sense. If they lose this game to Indiana, Goon, I just obviously they need to win out then to even have the chance to either accept or reject a bowl offer. I'm just missing what the advantage is at that point, and I can't imagine that the players would be excited about the opportunity. I can't imagine the coaches would be excited about the opportunity. I know the fans. I don't know a fan that's like, man, I really hope we get to a bowl game here now, because that'll at least salvage something out of this season. I don't. First of all, I'm not sure we even have to worry about whether or not they need to accept or reject a bowl bid. I think it's unlikely one is coming right now, because I think it's unlikely they get to the 6-win mark. But even if they did, I just don't see. I think they reject it just because there's no advantage for this program this year in going to a bowl game and, potentially matching up. I know there's been a lot of I've seen 3 or 4 now projections. Oh, Penn State Pitt.
Yeah, Pinstripe Bowl.
In the Pinstripe Bowl.
No, I do want to say, you get Grunkemeyer 15 more practices.
You do the upside, downside of that equation. With players that aren't going to be here next year.
I don't know, yeah.
Is that a benefit for Grunk, or would it be – and that's presuming Grunk is here next year. and presuming he's the starter, which I think, again, depending on who the coach is they bring in.
Why don't we talk to you? You don't have any answers for me, Jeff.
I think is as unlikely as it is likely right now that he wouldn't be the starting quarterback next season. But again, even if he is, a largely different receiving core. Well, Ironhead, what if you get the two freshmen in there and we actually follow through on what we keep saying we're going to do, and we're going to see those two. Okay, are any of those three going to be back next year?
Oh.
Like, you're presuming things that just you can't presume. And again, maybe all three are. Maybe it would be beneficial, but I think it's as likely as not that at least one of the three, if not all three, are not here, or at least not in the starting lineup when next season rolls around. Again, there's like zero guarantees with anything transferring from this year's team to next year's team. And that's why I'm not seeing the benefit of the bowl game myself, but that's just me.
You said it's a money thing, so I mean, if that transfers down to a lesser Big Ten team and they go to that bowl game and we still sharing that kind of money, or we just lose that $10 million that's given. That's the only thing I'm worried about is the check at the end of the year.
Yeah,
for the other sports and for everything. So I mean, yeah, there's so much up in the air, man. I mean, everything. Who's our coach? Who's our quarterback? Are we going to have any players from next year from this team for next year?
Next year, yeah.
What are we going to name them? Are they going to lose a recruiting class? I mean, are they going to have a GM? Are we going to do this or that? I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, have you heard a word about anything like that, about a general manager? I haven't heard a thing.
No.
I just don't understand why a coach would want to be involved in that aspect of the whole thing. I mean, it's tearing people apart. I mean, I think James Franklin is case study number one in that. Like, when you start having control of the money, I mean, then it's like you're their coach and you're their general manager, and it's like you can't be their friends, you can't be their buddy. I mean, how do you do that? It's a hard line to walk down, man. That's the word I'm looking for. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, I'll say, James is known as a player's coach. Can't be the player's coach. I mean, you've heard me beat this to death. You can't really be the player's coach when I'm trying to get money from you. I'm trying to get money from you, from the coach, who's the general manager, who wants to be my buddy, but I'm not going to say yes because he's my buddy. I mean, it's a business decision and all that. So,
yeah, although it's not the coach that's making I mean, they might be involved, but they're not making
but I mean, what I've said is that
decision.
James has always said that he's the ultimate micro. He's involved in everything.
Yeah.
Of course he was going to dabble in that, of course. But like we say about Cale Sanderson, so what? I don't want to hear about your money issues. You're here to wrestle for me right now. Let's wrestle. Let's practice. Let's get better.
Yeah,
somewhere
or something. It just.
And obviously, it's not just here. I mean, hell, look at LSU, Florida, Arkansas, UCLA.
But
all the same boat, Valtech.
Yeah, but it didn't go off the tracks the way it did at Penn State with any of those programs.
Started to last year for Florida, but he righted it a little bit. But it was going down that road again, and they cut that one real quick.
Yeah. I just. But I mean, the expectations because of last year were pretty minimal this year. I mean, maybe within the fan base down there, unrealistically, they were thinking playoffs. But I mean,
and they weren't.
Very few.
Their coach wasn't saying this is the best team I've had
best coaching
ever.
Staff,
coaching staff,
aligned.
Everything is aligned perfectly right here for a run. You set yourself up for that.
But it felt like they set themselves up to have that run too. I mean, I don't disagree that is part of it. Is he helped build up those expectations? But again, to me, not unreasonably. I think when you look at what they had coming back, what they accomplished last year, if I'm James Franklin, I'm feeling really good about it too. And again, yes, in retrospect now I'm wondering about the leadership, but going into the season, I think between Nick Dawkins and Dom DeLuca, and again, I said it, Aller would be coming back with a chip on his shoulder. We had heard about all the time he was putting into making sure he was shoring things up. And I really thought with the three transfer receivers, we're going to see that passing game take off and go to the next level. The running game was already great. Like that was no concern because you had virtually everybody back from a year ago. And again, the whole thing just went absolutely haywire.
Nothing went right.
And I've never seen anything go this off the tracks without there being a fairly obvious why.
Yeah.
And I just, if there is a why out there, it is not painfully obvious from the outside looking in there. Again, maybe the Franklin contract ask and going behind, maybe that did create some tensions that were more significant than maybe anybody anticipated at the start. Maybe the money did change the equation for some of the players. I don't know. I don't know where it went awry, but it is truly astounding just how different this season has played out to what the expectations were, to where now, even if you beat an undefeated second-ranked team in the country, again, it's going to be great in the moment, and then you're going to be like, okay. I mean, that was a great moment in an otherwise brutal season. And if you don't get that moment on Saturday, regardless of what happens in the final three games, again, to me, to a very, very large degree, it really doesn't matter at that point what happens in the final three. And again, I'm not even sure it matters a great deal one way or the other now what happens here on Saturday as well. I think AK will not have total control of the play calling this Saturday. Andy Kotelnicki being questioned. Understandably, I'm not saying you're not right to question both sides of the ball when it comes to the way things have been managed this season. How can 6-6 qualify Penn State for a bowl? It takes 6 FBS wins, and Villanova is an FBS. Frank, you'd be amazed at the exceptions they can create for the big-time programs. That's the other question I have, though, is one of the reasons Penn State gets invited to bowl games is, man, look out. Those fans travel.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think the fans would travel this year? And maybe again, Penn State is, hey, it's still our team. Love Terry Smith. We want to see the seniors. Again, if it's like the Pinstripe Bowl, it's an easy enough drive and there's enough. But I don't know. I'm curious about that. I'm not sure at the end of the day that it is much going to
right with you. I have no idea
in that regard.
You're right. Even if it was, playing Pitt, I mean, I think we travel up there, but do we? And people are like, I've had enough of this team. They've taken enough of my money and my time and my patience and my
Yeah, and there's so many bowl games now. So you have to be 6-6, and yet if you look back at the last several seasons, there have been teams with losing records that have gone because they haven't had enough 6-6 plus teams that were willing to go. So it's a rule. It's kind of a rule with a nod and a wink. So take that for whatever it's worth. I don't know. I'm not sure.
We don't know anything.
A bowl game's in the cards anyway. And I don't know really, again, what benefit this program this year would get from taking advantage of what normally would be an opportunity with the bowl game. All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll get into some other topics on this Thursday afternoon, including the beloved Penguins taking on the Capitals tonight, Goon. Ovechkin and Crosby. I think it's fair to say we're in the twilight of their careers now, but still a fun matchup when they meet. But we'll kick around some other sports items here on this Thursday afternoon as we continue with the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
This region is known for its winding forest roads and scenic wild beauty. And there's one vehicle that's as rugged as Happy Valley. It's the Kia Telluride from Lion Country Kia. Hurry in now and check out the all-around rugged 2025 Tellurides. Lion Country Kia has the spacious 7-seater SUV with as low as 2.99% financing for 60 months or a $1,500 Kia finance rebate. There's 19 Tellurides in stock ready to go, starting at only $43,145. Be sure to check out the entire Kia lineup at Lion Country Kia. There's 91 new Kias available. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Who trusts Lion Country Kia? Mitchell Messenbrink trusts Lion Country Kia. And you should too. Lion Country Kia. 1334 Dravova Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College. It's the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon. Penguins Capitals tonight. Looking forward to that. Just fun.
That was orange chicken there, Jeff.
When you get Ovechkin and Crosby together, and big one coming up, big two coming up for Penn State this weekend. Nittany Lions at Michigan State. Nittany Lions up to number 3 in the coaches poll this week. Of course, Michigan State is number 1. Penn State without Aiden Fink for what Guy Godowski said is the foreseeable future, presumably at least until the second semester here for the Nittany Lions. So, bit of a blow, but this should be a really fun couple of games and a good measuring stick, not the end-all, be-all. I think Penn State, if it loses both of these games, hopefully we don't see anything like what we saw with Penn State football after the Oregon game. I think they will be able to keep it in perspective and be able to bounce back. But this will be a fun couple of games.
Sure.
I think exciting for Penn State to go see exactly where it is here against maybe the best team in the country. And then
see where we
they'll
stand.
follow it up by taking on second-ranked Michigan the following weekend. So we'll get a much better idea of exactly where Penn State is, at least at this stage of the season, over the course of the next couple of weekends. But this Penn State team has been a fun watch. Now, maybe for some folks, it's like, hey, let's not wait until we fall into a hole to show what we can do. But the firepower on this roster is something to behold, and it is. I think it is going to get better and better as the season goes along, because I think they're going to keep getting a better feel for one another and kind of what everybody's role is, and they'll settle more into those roles. I think, kind of to this point, still figuring some of that out, but my goodness, again, the firepower on this roster is really, really impressive.
Yeah, both teams. They're both loaded,
Wow, for
including
sure.
Michigan also next week. So the next 2 weeks of hockey are going to be outstanding.
Yeah.
Sparty and Penn State have a nice little healthy rivalry going right there the last few years. So there's going to be some of the best college hockey you'll see in a long time.
Yeah.
And with that being said, college hockey has very much improved in the last few years with some rule changes here and there, allowing some stud players to be in the college ranks right now. So definitely tune in for that. There's a preview for the outdoor game in January versus Sparty. So we'll see where we stand. And maybe we're a hockey school, Jeff. Maybe we're a hockey school.
Could be.
We're past being a wrestling school. Now we're just like, they're coming up starting, right?
Yeah, week from tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about the Penn. So did you see like how ESPN is broadcasting or advertising the Crosby versus Malkin thing? Not Ovechkin.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They like the rookie pictures, and they're showing like pictures throughout the years.
Yeah.
And Ovechkin has
fun.
taken over a lot of grays and a lot of he has weathered. Crosby still looks like a little kid, man. Still. I mean, just an absolute assassin, by the way. So the Flyers-Pens game that was on last week, they had a statistic. 3-point games versus one certain team, and Crosby has had 14 in his career versus the Flyers. 3+ points in a game. 14 times. I mean, he just kills them. Kills them. Always has, always will.
Yeah.
I said it last week, and he got the game to go into the overtime. He scored a late goal, and I was all fired up. I couldn't wait to text you guys. Oh, my God, I can't believe Crosby didn't score. Well, that's too late for that. So I started thinking of it way ahead of time, and that was it. I was punished.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah, and then you got your boys coming up next. They start next week, right?
Yeah, wrestling team will open up next week. It is once again, a roster that's just loaded with talent. We'll have to wait and see how some things in terms of who ends up being the starter.
Will they wrestle off
in
like
March.
old school stuff?
Yeah, they'll
Nice.
have wrestle offs, but that's not necessarily. It's not just automatic that if you win the wrestle off, you're the guy this year. There's a lot of things that go into it. Discussion with the kid and the family, and what makes the most sense. How comfortable
okay.
you're at the different.
But if
weight
they're both
classes.
eligible to play, they both don't have a red shirt. It's head to head, right?
Yeah, I mean, even then, yes, but and it's a big but. It's like you got to be able to go out and compete the way they want you to compete. I mean, we've had. I mean, this is going back a ways now, but we've had guys win a wrestle off, and then they just don't go out and let it fly against outside competition, where the guy that gets beat in the wrestle off does, and it's like, all right, we got to go with the guy that gives us the best chance to win. So to a large degree, wrestle offs settle it, but it's not like 100% done deal no matter what. That's just it. But to a large degree.
And once they decide the roster, how much tinkering goes on through the year if there's no injury?
I mean, you can guys can challenge, and it depends a little bit on how close. What you're seeing out of the starter, the original winner of the wrestle off, what you're seeing in the room, does it feel like there's a little bit of a shift there? So you can ask for wrestle offs, and more often than not, they'll be granted the opportunity. Some of it is also you got to figure out the timing of the wrestle off. So you're not going to wrestle off, if you have a Friday, Sunday one week and another Friday, Sunday, where you're not wrestling off that Monday or Tuesday. So it's also kind of when it makes sense with the schedule and everything. But
so I had
go ahead.
Fantastic conversation with Austin over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was just, Austin Shannon talked the rest of the Lock Haven. He's on the Hall of Fame committee in the national world or whatever, not in it. He's on the committee. So he's my wrestling guru. You and him, he's the one who's got me into it. You've kept me into it, listening to it, understanding it, and following it pretty good.
Yep.
So I had a nice conversation last week because I was talking about the Marzola twins and stuff like that. And they said something that alarmed me and then confused me. And Austin told me why. Because I had asked you last week, I said, they both told me, the twin brothers, that in wrestling, they don't watch that much film. And I know I had asked you about it and you explained that, yeah, they don't do that much and this and that. But Austin put it in the wrestling terms for me. And he goes, why do I want to see or protect against something that he does when I want to know what I can do to him? And he was explaining it to me. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, if I'm watching him and trying to defend against this and that, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And what I do is I think I'm going to roll it out there and I'm going to do what I do and I'm going to beat this guy. And I was like, holy crap.
I do wonder sometimes, Goon, if that isn't what happens in football. Like, I do think it's possible to overanalyze something.
Sure.
And, the old Vince Lombardi, the sweep's coming. Good luck stopping it. Well, again, if you're doing something well and you're like on film, this team, we're worried about this guy. Well, go, what you do well, go do it. I will say in wrestling, it varies a little bit with the individual. Some guys, Penn State, I will say, generally probably does less film study than most. I think that would be fair to say. And that doesn't mean that they're not scouting and that they're not aware. I mean Cody and Casey will, hey, especially if it's somebody. Now, these guys also, part of the wrestling angle with it is a lot of these guys have grown up wrestling some of these guys. Now, there's weight changes and all of that, but I mean, you're at least familiar with the other big names from the time you're in elementary school in a lot of these cases, but certainly throughout high school, you're seeing them, if not wrestling it directly against them, you're watching them. Everything is now so easily accessible. So you can get an idea. Like, nobody's going to come in and, man, I had no idea that guy hits headlocks all the time. It just completely surprised me. It's not happening by the time you get to the collegiate level. Now, that doesn't mean there might be a guy, like especially when you get to the NCAA tournament, those first couple of rounds. So they may just, hey, just keep an eye out. Like, this guy does do this. Like, this is his go-to.
Do the coaches watch film and give a scouting plan or anything like that?
They'll watch some, yeah.
But they're going to sit there and say, this guy comes out like a ball of fire, but he wears out.
You get, again, it. You know that the guys in the sport, by the time they're getting to the college level, certainly with the Big Ten guys, they know them, athletes and coaches, pretty well in terms of, all right, this is what we have tended to see. This is what we know is the, at least historically, has been kind of the style and all of that. And, you might make an adjustment or two. But generally speaking, yeah, they're much more concerned about what it is you're working on,
what
you're
doing, and you do well, and you make sure that
out
you do it well.
And take control of the match. So Oklahoma, I will say, I mean, I don't know that there's anybody. I was read into another wrestling fan yesterday. They're like, I don't think Oklahoma matches up well. I'm like, well, I think you're right. I think Oklahoma has a really good team, much improved team anyway from a year ago. But I'm like, who is it that you think matches up really well with Penn State this year? Because we went through the rankings this morning on our morning show, but Luke Lillidahl right now is third, and I would argue he's probably ranked low. Properly ranked. I don't mean that it's an injustice, but I think he's going to be better than the third best wrestler in the country at the weight. Marcus Blaze isn't ranked right now because Intermat doesn't rank true freshmen, but Marcus figures to be, I'm going to conservatively say, a top 12 guy by the end of the season. I think that's being very conservative, but certainly a guy that could All-American at the very least. As the season unfolds. But right now they have Braden Davis, I think, 9th at 141. And I think they have two great options there with Davis and Nagao. Shane Van Ness is now ranked number 1 in the preseason. Tyler Kasak is number 2. But he has not lost to the number 1 ranked wrestler, the returning champion, Antrell Taylor from Nebraska. And then you have number 1s in Mitchell Messenbrink and Levi Haynes. You have number 2 in Rocco Welsh. You have number 1 in Josh Barr. Then we're going to find out. And then Cole Mirasola at heavyweight, I think, is number 10 in the preseason, although he and Lucas Cochran are going to be battling it out there for that starting role at heavyweight. So, again, it's a team that is just loaded with national title contenders up and down the lineup. And, by the end of the season, they could have legit title contenders at every weight. I think certainly they're going to have, if they stay healthy, legitimate national title contenders at the very least 7 of the weights, and All-American contenders at the very least at all 10 weight classes. And that's just going to be a tough matchup for anybody. And I think there's certainly some teams out there that are coming. Obviously, Oklahoma State. Iowa isn't going anywhere. Ohio State's got a very nice team. Virginia Tech's trying to build up. I think they're looking at the next couple of years as maybe being something special here potentially. So we'll see how everything unfolds. But I think Penn State is going to be a tough matchup for anybody in the upcoming season. And it's just a really good situation that they have themselves in now, because it is the place that great wrestlers want to go to become even greater. The track record now speaks for itself. And I think part of what is appealing is, yes, that track record, and knowing that if you go and wrestle for Cale and Casey and Cody and now Nick Lee, that you're giving yourself best chance to be the best wrestler you can be. But also, it is a different kind of room than a lot of rooms that you go to, because it's not a lot of, hey, we're going to break you down to build you up. It is, no, we're just here to help you in any way we can, try to perfect some of the techniques, try to work on the things that can make you a better wrestler. But it's not a lot of in-your-face yelling. It's it's hard. I mean, they are. It is a grueling practice, but it is also a very upbeat practice, and it's a bunch of guys that just have a passion for the sport and a willingness to share that passion and share their knowledge and expertise with one another. And that's not always an easy thing to come by in this sport.
We're a tight, wrestling is a tight community and is a tight team, but in the end, it's an individual sport. Leadership wise, who is letting these guys know that that's how Penn State does it? Is that it comes down from the coach, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's guys in the room who, like, outside of the room, when they're outside of Cale, Cody, and those guys, that they still need the leadership, right?
Honestly, with what they have right now, it's just not conversations that need to take place. These guys, like PJ Duke, isn't coming in saying, "All right, can you help me? Is it okay if I go out and carouse this weekend before the big match? We're okay with that." Like, all these guys have their priorities already straight, and so the leadership just comes. It's already there. I mean, the 30 guys they have in the room now are all leaders. They know they have to take care of their own business. Now, that isn't to say, hey, let's make sure we're concentrating on this a little bit more, or that, or hey, you need to know that if you need some academic help, we have that. Or if you do bang your arm, don't tough it out. We have maybe the world's greatest trainer here. Go ahead and see monthly. Let them get it fixed up rather than let something linger. So, I think the more experienced advice is more along those lines of, hey, you don't need to tough it out. Let's not do, they've had kids, told the story a couple times for some reason. It's just come up in conversation, but there were a couple of years with a couple of kids where, again, this coaching staff, when I tell you they know what they're doing, they know what they're doing. And it's the holistic approach, so that everything they are doing is with a specific plan in mind for how it is going to make you, the individual, better and get your peak performances when you need them. Well, previously, again, I don't think this has happened in recent years, but we would get into like January and coaches like, man, I don't understand why this kid isn't making the progress that we were expecting. I mean, he seems to be doing what we're asking him to do. And finally, through conversation, they learned, well, he was getting up and running, I forget what it was now, 5 or 6 miles in the morning to get extra conditioning. Well, it's no, that and the coaches aren't knowing this. He's just doing it because he thinks, I'm going to make myself better, more mentally tough, better conditioning. And it's like, no, like the whole thing is around understanding the need for rest and recovery and building up. Well, if you're doing stuff that the coaches don't know about that's wearing your body down, again, that communication is important. And that is an element where, again, maybe some of the older kids, hey, just so you know, like, you need to be telling the coaches, yes, this is what I'm doing, or this is what I've done, this is what I'm comfortable with, and talk that out. Like, all right, now we need to change that up. Or again, maybe in some cases it's like, hey, if that's working for you, we'll keep that, that routine, whatever it may be. I mean, it's not, again, not necessarily a one size fits all, but that communication is important. You got to know what everybody's doing, and that the plan as laid out is being followed, because there's a very specific purpose to it.
K-Sac needs to stay out of the damn sheep barn. Too much time down there, K-Sac. You're at the goats too much, buddy.
But honestly, the best leaders Penn State has had, and I'm guessing this is the same way in football, Goon. It's not the. It is okay to have vocal leaders also. Yeah. I'm not saying that, but the best leadership is, hey, do you see what that guy's doing? Do that. You see how he's working, not talking back, and again, I haven't had that issue here under Carroll, where guys are, coach, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's a nice situation that they have here, but like watching, there are certain guys, I mean, they preach consistency, and that's consistency with attitude, consistency with the approach, all of those things. And a number of guys have done a very good job of it. But seemingly kind of every 4 or 5 years, you get that kid or two that just, I mean, does it absolutely right. Like, they listen to the coaches, they execute what the coaches are telling them to do. They go to the trainer when something is starting to bother them, so it doesn't become a problem, a bigger problem later. They're not trying to tough it out. And again, you got to be honest. Hey, I don't think this is anything, but my wrist is. Well, again, sometimes you check it out, and you're right, it's not anything. You just banged it, and you got to just tough it out. But sometimes it's, oh my gosh, you know what? We need to get that checked out and get, whatever rehab in place and all of that. But if you, I just want to let you know, this is bothering me. All right, well, let's check it out. Maybe it isn't anything. Maybe it is. But if you're doing that, and you are, again, you're gaining the trust of the medical staff's gaining the trust in you. Hey, this kid knows when it turns out we got to do something to maybe build up the tissue around that area, or whatever it may be. So the communication part is big. And then just seeing the guys like Zane Rutherford, Nick Lee, now Levi Haynes, that just, they do everything right. They're not a burden. They're guys that go out of their way to help others. If they, see the trash needs taken out, they go grab the trash and take it out. It's not, well, that's not my job. It's, I talked about it on the show this week. One of the coolest things to come out of this losing streak, and there hasn't been much, but was the video that went around with Vega Ioane after the Ohio State game. Not even asking, not thinking for a second whether or not he should help. He jumps over the railing and helps the equipment guy push up the tub. Well, that is just a good guy. That's a guy that, hey, I want to help a fellow person out who's doing good things for our program.
That camera was there or not, he was going to do that.
And there are certain guys that again, just the way they're raised, just that their instincts, it's like they're not being asked, hey, can you help out and take out the garbage? And I'm using the garbage as just a general example. But I mean, say, hey, something needs done. I see that it needs done. I'm capable of doing it. It might not be my job. I might be here as a big star. So what? I can help out, and so you just go help out. Like, that's just because you're a decent person. And I think when you get guys, again, I'm naming just a few, but I mean, there's obviously been a bunch under Cale. But I think Levi Haynes is just one of those guys who's goes out of his way to be nice to everybody, goes out of his way to do everything he can to help out the program, to help out fellow wrestlers, works his tail off when he's in the room, listens to the coaches. If they tell him to do something, he doesn't. He might ask why, hey, what's how it's not questioning. It's I want to know, how does this benefit me type thing. And but I mean, he just does everything that is asked, and the results kind of speak for themselves with those guys. So having those types of guys certainly helpful in the leadership respect in the room. But again, honestly, and it's a kind of a unique situation now with what Cale has, and in that the track record again speaks for itself. And these guys now know, with the experience they have, they know what they're looking for when they're going recruiting. And if there's a red flag, this program's at a position now where it's like, all right, we're good. we don't need to pursue that. Oh yeah, but he's a great wrestler. Yep, we got a bunch of great wrestlers. We don't need to put up
nice
with
people to pick and choose
whatever.
like that.
Yes, and again, it's a very unique situation. They understand it. They're appreciative of it, but it's just a situation that they're in. And so there's just not, you look up and down that roster, and it's, that guy's there for the right reason. That guy's there. And you say that 30 times over. So, all right, we'll take a break here. Be back with a final segment on our Thursday afternoon as we get ready for Penn State and Indiana. Noon kickoff on Saturday. General sentiment seems to be, we're glad with the noon kickoff. Want to get out of there as early as we can. Back after this.
This region is known for its winding forest roads and scenic wild beauty. And there's one vehicle that's as rugged as Happy Valley. It's the Kia Telluride from Lion Country Kia. Hurry in now and check out the all-around rugged 2025 Tellurides. Lion Country Kia has the spacious 7-seater SUV with as low as 2.99% financing for 60 months or a $1,500 Kia finance rebate. There's 19 Tellurides in stock ready to go, starting at only $43,145. Be sure to check out the entire Kia lineup at Lion Country Kia. There's 91 new Kias available. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Who trusts Lion Country Kia? Mitchell Messenbrink trusts Lion Country Kia. And you should too. Lion Country Kia. 1334 Dravova Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back. It is going to be interesting, Goon, to see if the Big Ten can or does get a fourth team into the playoffs. Not a guarantee that they will get three at this point.
Mark
I think.
My words, Ironhead.
Yeah.
You're going to see it this weekend. Iowa. It's Iowa's coming out party, man. I've been telling you for 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
They took Indiana to the wire, man. Indiana scored a couple late touchdowns on them, and this is their big game. Is Oregon at home? We're going to see, because I thought we played very well against Iowa. I thought we played as well as we could at that point. It was the best we played this year was versus Iowa, and in the first half against Ohio State. So interesting to see where that Iowa team is. So, but then will they just replace Oregon in there, or will they be included Oregon in that four? So you got Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, and you think that Iowa would be the fourth? Or
well, I
Michigan?
mean, Iowa, Michigan, USC are all 19, 20, 21 there, and probably need to win out to put themselves in position to have a chance to be that fourth team. I don't know. You think Iowa has the best chance of those three that could?
Washington 6-2 right now.
Oh yeah, Washington's in. It would be
Illinois is 23 in the country right now. I mean, they're just a team that just keeps. I don't think. Yeah. I think that Illinois is getting what Iowa. Illinois is getting ranked where Iowa should be, in my opinion. They'd be getting that kind of love this year. Again, we shall see. This is a big weekend up here coming now. But yeah, Washington is a big one. So did you see I guess that Michigan playing Oklahoma is one of their 2 losses, or 3 losses, or 2 losses. You know, losing to Oklahoma, then using the USC and stuff like that. People are like, why are we? People are starting to realize, why in the hell are we playing a big out of conference game?
Well,
you know, somebody signed up to play Michigan the other day, and they're like, why are we doing? Why is Ohio State or Florida State playing Alabama in the beginning of the season? It's like, you're going to get in with 2 losses. You can't get in with a third. So why would you play a harder game? And this is what the NCAA needs to clean up a little bit.
Yes.
They need, because it's going to be your FIU, Nevada, and Villanova's like Penn State played this year.
Yep.
And who wants that? I don't want cupcakes. I mean, I want at least a big out-of-conference game for each power conference team. Should have one like crossover game. Just one.
Well, again, they need to restructure the leadership. There needs to be
a lot of
either
stuff
a
we can fix,
commissioner or
there we go.
Some sort of a centralized office that
something
takes over the scheduling. And again, maybe not all of it, but you are already you have the conferences scheduling the conference games. I just think you need to have as fair of a way as you can going about setting up at least one significant
one crossover
game,
bigger game where the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC challenge takes place.
Yep.
Maybe the third week of the year. You never want it to be the first. You know why?
Why is that?
Because you have all season suspensions are being served in that first game. So
oh boy.
That's the Florida State syndrome right there.
Well, I'll tell you, there is still a lot of things that can play out here to the season in terms of this. We're getting into that stretch run where everybody's like, all right, well, we know this, and this is going to happen. And then one of those things doesn't happen. Somebody upsets the apple cart. And it's like, oh, well, wait, didn't see that coming. So this team's out. Now that opens up the opportunity for another team.
Yeah, look at us last year.
Some crazy things that happen.
Playing
here.
for a Big Ten title game last year. No one saw that coming.
Nope.
Up to a week before.
Yeah. Again, a lot that can happen. A lot that can happen this weekend. I think the most interesting game to me nationally is the BYU Texas Tech matchup, because both of those teams have been really good. BYU has been exceptional this season.
Right.
They are probably flying under the radar as much as anybody out there. Outside of Indiana, I don't know that anybody is putting together a more impressive and, to a large degree, unexpected to the degree they're having success this season. That's going to be, and I think that's at Texas Tech, right? Was I looking? Yeah, BYU's at Texas Tech. Yeah. So I think BYU can pretty much solidify its spot in the playoffs with a win there. That'd be a pretty significant win to be able to put in their resume.
Sure.
Going on the road and
also a good one for Texas Tech.
Well, for sure. I mean, BYU's undefeated. Again, big opportunity there for both of those programs coming up this weekend. I think Texas A&M feels like it's rolling along. Missouri without Bo Pribula, although I guess maybe he'll be back now for the postseason. Maybe it sounds like, I guess, dislocated, not broken. Was the ankle. But you look at, again, a little bit of a dangerous spot for Texas A&M if they're getting caught up in reading the headlines. And again, we're just at that stage of the season. Missouri wants to make a name for itself, get that signature victory. Their fans will be into it. I think Texas A&M will be all right there. I think, again, it seems like they've shown the maturity all season long to handle that. But at some point, all of these teams go through that A game where it's like, oh boy, we don't have it today, and can you gut it out? I don't know that that'll be that for Texas A&M here Saturday, but it feels like a spot where that could be. Again, it's a good Missouri team. That crowd will be fired up, and again, a little bit of a dangerous spot there, I think, for A&M. I'm really interested in the Oregon-Iowa game, Goon. I know you're big on the I think Oregon
they got to prove it.
Is just a better team. I was interested, though. I mean, Oregon is sixth in most of the AP and the coaches poll. They're ninth in the college football playoff rankings. So the committee, not as impressed as a lot of other experts around the country. I think it's a fascinating game to see how it unfolds there with Oregon at Iowa on Saturday. And then LSU at Alabama. I presume Alabama just rolls, but now it's one of those things, too. Do those players just rally? It's like, screw it. We're going to go ruin somebody else's season now. Possibility out there. I mean, I don't hold out much hope for it. I think Alabama will win it convincingly. But again, we're at that stage of the season where you just know there's going to be some games where it's going to leave you shaking your head at the end of it. I'll tell you another one worth keeping an eye on. And again, I'm not calling it at all. But Georgia at Mississippi State Georgia's coming off that they're feeling really good right now. Somewhere we're going to get one of these teams that just has a loss, like Oregon at Iowa. That's not going to be a stunning loss. That's not what I'm talking. I'm telling you, there's going to be somebody in that top 10 right now that loses a game that you're like, how in the world? What happened there? And that feels like that could be that type of a spot there for Georgia. I don't think, although it has happened before, I don't think Ohio State is going to lose at Purdue. I just have a feeling the Buckeyes will rise to the occasion.
Is it the night game?
This time,
is Brome coaching from Purdue
in West Lafayette?
Yeah,
That's
Michigan's got a bye.
I think I think that's an old school 1 o'clock kick, right?
Yes, it is.
So
I noticed that. Why?
I don't know. There's a couple of them actually. There's another one.
Is Peacock doing games at 1 o'clock? Is that what's going on?
Somebody,
ESPN,
Citadel at Ole Miss. I mean, but that's a 1 o'clock game on Saturday as well. I miss the 1 o'clock games. I might be the only person in the country that misses them, but I like the 1 o'clock games.
Well, it's dependent on television, though.
Oh,
what channel is it on? I mean, they must have a 5:45 game, I think, today. I see some SEC schools are playing 5:45 kickoffs now.
Yeah. You do what you got to do for the
my
the
second Bo Schembechler reference of the day. So, if you want to take me outside and put a tire iron in the back of my head, go right ahead. But he did say when television was trying to put his game on TV, and he goes, "That's fine. You want to put it on TV? That's fine. I mean, I'm going to kick off at noon. You want to put me on at 1? That's fine. But the game's starting at 1 at noon. Trust me.
Times have changed a little bit.
Yes, they have. Absolutely, they have. Let me see what Ohio State's playing on.
Yeah, so I'm just looking up here real quick.
That is the 1 o'clock game. I did notice that, and I was wondering why in the hell.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan
That's
at 1
a
o'clock.
Big Ten Network game.
Really?
Yeah.
So they must not have a 3:30 game then on the Big Ten Network. It's what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But is it the Big Ten Plus type of thing? And what are we on this week?
Bizarre. Just bizarre.
Are we even on TV?
It has been a brutal stretch. Yeah,
you were here. I was not here.
Yeah.
99-04. Well, 4 out of 5 losing seasons. So 2000, 2001, 2003, and 2004.
Yeah.
2003 was the game against Auburn in the Larry Johnson year. I mean, was it this bad? I mean, this is just a bad year. Like, I can't wait for this thing to end.
I mean, at this point,
were you even here?
It's just different because of the
expectations,
and now we're waiting to see who the coach is, how many of these players and which ones will hang around. Will any of these coaches? So it's just, I don't ever remember a going into a stretch where you still have 4 games to play, and you're like, I don't think it matters whether they win all 4, lose all 4, go through. And I'm not saying the play. I mean, you want to win. I get from the competitive nature and all that. I'm saying from the fan standpoint, again, would you prefer to win 4 games and see your team finish strong? Yeah, but I just don't think in the overall scheme it matters, and I think most fans feel like that. Like it's
Did you see my prediction on 24/7
for this one on Saturday? I did not.
35-29 Penn State. Do you know the significance?
I do.
Yes, sir.
I don't think there's.
Yep. It's going to happen.
That's very well done.
Yep. 35-29.
I will say I think the 14.5 points is not enough for Penn State in this one. I think they're going to fail to cover again this season. I just think that Indiana, they put up points in a hurry, Goon, and Penn State just has not been able to figure this out defensively. And again, as good as Mendoza is, so this is the other thing. I think some people maybe are not aware of, like, Indiana's running game is really good. Like, they are pounding the ball as well. Like, it's not just that Mendoza's whipping the ball all over the place, although he is. But, I mean, it's much more like what we saw with Ohio State last week. Like, Mendoza's putting up crazy good numbers the way Julian's saying is. But if somehow you took either of those quarterbacks out of it, it's not like, all right, now we don't have anything to worry about. Both of those teams run the ball really, really well. Indiana has an opportunistic defense, but it's not just opportunistic. It is just a good, stout defense. And I think, much like the Ohio State game last week, I hate the matchups in this game. I don't see an area where it's like, all right, yeah, everywhere else Indiana has them, but man, Penn State's probably going to be able to exploit this. I think it's like, well, no, running game, edge Indiana, passing game, edge Indiana, pass defense, edge Indiana. Like, I just think right on down the line. And I'm adding in what I think is going to be a largely ambivalent crowd. They'll be into it at the start. I think certainly the students, I expect, will be into it. But if Indiana jumps out and gets even a 7-0 lead, but certainly if they can jump out either 10 or 14-0, Goon, I think you're going to see people already start to head to the parking lots. Like, I don't really want to
sign up to watch
around.
this.
I
hope they're not booing. I hope that they have enough class in their.
I don't think. I mean, what would you be booing at this
frustration
at this point? I guess, but like you've already gotten. The two figures that I think most fans were booing, they're gone. Drew Aller's not able to play, and James Franklin's out of there. So, I mean, you can't be booing Terry Smith for crying out loud. That's insane.
Sure as hell can.
You can't be booing Gronk. You can't be booing. Like, it just makes no sense to boo from my standpoint. Certainly, you're right. I mean, I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, but it's like, what are you expecting to happen? Like, what's the benefit other than, I guess, letting out a little frustration with booing on Saturday?
So you don't like the 35-29, huh? I mean, I think we got a good shot of that happening.
I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it.
And the pollsters, they take their number 2, they strip their number 2 from them.
Let's see. Nick writes, you don't understand because you were happy with 10-win seasons with the delusion that Franklin would one day win the big one. I want to roll the dice with a new coach and potentially one after him.
One after him? We're already 2 coaches ahead?
Oh, yeah. Because Nick wants to win.
Jeez.
Nick, I don't want to win, Goon. James Franklin didn't want to win, but Nick, by God, he wants to win. And if we have to keep firing coaches and suffering through 8 and 4 seasons, by God, we're going to do it. And God bless you. Nebraska's been wanting to do that. A long list of programs that have been wanting to do that. And listen, Penn State could.
I know, but I mean, I'm going to go back to what I said before, and that was I just. When they fired, what's his name, with 10-win seasons, Nebraska, Pelini, he was still into it. I just don't think James was into it this year. I really don't, man. I mean, how do you let that happen?
Yeah.
How do you let the UCLA thing happen and Northwestern happen when if you had just won it out, you still would have been in the playoffs. Nothing was lost. And that's what I just don't understand. It's like, that's what I can't get past. Yeah. I can't get over that. And then he says they didn't get over the Oregon game. Well, that's on you then. That's how I feel. I mean, because it's everything was still there. Everything was still there.
That one just makes zero sense to me.
Phew.
By the way, to answer the next question, I was happy with 10-win seasons. I liked 10-win seasons a lot.
But you were okay with 10 wins and not winning the big ones. I wasn't. That was getting frustrating.
Yeah, I think that gets overplayed. I bring up too often, but I mean, I was producing sports talk show in Pittsburgh at when Cowher was there, and the number of calls we took, I guarantee the Steelers will never win a Super Bowl with Bill Cowher because they don't know how to win the big one in the AFC playoffs.
True.
And you guys are satisfied with playoff teams. We want to get a Super Bowl winner.
500 teams.
And then Bill Cowher went out and won a Super Bowl.
Speaking
I
of,
don't know if James Franklin ever would. It felt like everything was in line here. I do love when fans, this coach will never do this. This coach will never do that. This player, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen in the future, and nor do I. I'm not guaranteeing one way or the other. But would I be shocked if James Franklin somewhere, someday wins a national title? Nope, I won't be.
I actually hope he does. I've told him before. I said, good luck with it, and then I hope you do get it, as long as it's not against us.
Yeah.
Well, now, with that said, so when I was on the trip last week going up to Ohio State, we were talking about Signetti's now making $11.5 million and Rules making $12 million and this and that, So that had me thinking, like, NFL coaches. Do you know any of those salaries? Because I got the first top three, and I was like, holy crap. What do you think the top NFL coach makes? I mean, we're talking about the college coaches making 12 now and being like, holy crap. Andy Reid makes $20 million a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Tomlin's at 16.
You're talking about the highest level.
Sure, I get it.
Like,
yeah, I get it, but it's like we're still a long way to go before you hit $20 million in college football. I mean, that's the number 15 is the big number right now that they think might get over the threshold, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Again, like I told you before, Jeff, how many times do I have to say this? I don't want to coach, but I want a buyout. I would like to sign one of those big buyouts. I mean, just give me $5 million. I don't need $50 million. Just give me a $5 million buyout. We'll be good.
Yeah,
maybe Fox will get rid of us.
Yeah. Again, we'll see. I might kick this around a little more again next week. I love the idea. Let's go bring in a coach that's gonna dominate Ohio State. I just God bless you. I'm not sure that coach exists. Ohio State is really good, and again, I get the frustration. I'm not saying I didn't share the frustration, but also it's like SEC schools when Nick Saban was running out. Well, we want to win, and and we're not satisfied with 10-win seasons, man. We're championship caliber. We demand championship caliber. Okay, I mean that's great, and to show you how serious we are, we're going to fire our coaches, and then we'll bring in another one who's the big hot name, and after he fails to win a title in 5 years, we'll get rid of him. And okay, I mean that's great. Keep pursuing it, and that's again what most of these programs are doing. And that pressure is just going to continue to ratchet up in the college world that we are now living in. All right, we will see what the weekend brings. Fingers crossed. We will talk about it and all of the weekend in sports when we get together again next Tuesday. Until then, be good and be safe.
This region is known for its winding forest roads and scenic wild beauty. And there's one vehicle that's as rugged as Happy Valley. It's the Kia Telluride from Lion Country Kia. Hurry in now and check out the all-around rugged 2025 Tellurides. Lion Country Kia has the spacious 7-seater SUV with as low as 2.99% financing for 60 months or a $1,500 Kia finance rebate. There's 19 Tellurides in stock ready to go, starting at only $43,145. Be sure to check out the entire Kia lineup at Lion Country Kia. There's 91 new Kias available. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Who trusts Lion Country Kia? Mitchell Messenbrink trusts Lion Country Kia. And you should too. Lion Country Kia. 1334 Drabble Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, and lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food. Get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we've advertised locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.